Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today, we're gonna be making some progress on Dell's Spool. So you guys know, Max said that this is the first year he's actually been driving this car. Last year was the first year he got it on the road, and the interior, when we got it, was like, didn't exist. It was like nothing going on in there. We've done like the S2K cluster and the dash swap, and today we're gonna take care of doing the rest of the interior, getting everything dialed in. But before we get started on that, I just wanted to remind you guys that Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the committed crew banners went live on the website. I do not have confidence in us getting this video done before then. And in case it already happened, go on the site and grab a banner. We're only pre-releasing a couple of these before we go to the Driven shows, so get on there and grab one of these before they're gone. And if you guys do not get a chance to do that, come see us at a Driven show, June 3rd in Toronto, June 10th in Edmonton, June 17th in Vancouver, and grab some. That being said, let's jump into it. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
That was on behalf of the people.
Oh.
I've been around you for an hour or so.
I love the people.
Mac is gonna go ahead and strip on the seat this morning so we can get started on doing some stuff. We have the OEM carpet, we got the trim pieces here, we got a bunch of random plastics, and we have a pile of stuff to go inside the car. We got this cool little 3D printed block off plate, but my favorite, we got the glow shift gauges.
I can't get this one out. This one's tight.
I feel like you guys can't see anything because they're not lit up, but we have a glow shift digital wideband gauge going on right here, if you guys can get a focus on that. And we also have an analog boost gauge, because analog boost gauges are way more fun to watch.
It's way better.
So these are both the tinted 7 color series. Obviously, the only difference is that this one's digital, this one's analog. You guys can see a little photo right there of what it will actually look like. And I haven't hit you guys with this discount in a while, but if you guys want to grab a glow shift gauge, I have a discount code for you. It is Robbie10. You guys can save 10% off on anything on Glow Shift's website. Whatever color your dash lights are or your cluster lights are, whatever, you can make these match, which is really cool. And my favorite thing, I actually don't know if you know that this is from Glow Shift or not, but you've seen these before. My absolute favorite part about a Glow Shift gauge is they all come
Oh yes, you've shown me these.
The hoods are where it's at.
Yeah.
Because if you have it straight, there's nothing like putting a gauge straight in your car and not being able to see it.
Yeah, so that's a common problem with like pillar gauges, right? Is like you can never see anything during the day. You're like, oh, what's going on? So
you can reverse circumcise your gauge with this. And so since we decided to start our day with wiring and just have a wonderful morning doing wiring things, Mac has one more item that he's had for a long time, and this is a super weird thing. This is like a Bluetooth radio delete kit, essentially. So this little box basically deletes your radio, you're singled in.
Correct.
Goes in behind the dash, and it only accepts a Bluetooth connection.
Wait till you see it all like finished, and I show you the little flippy door and everything. You're gonna love it.
The flippy door. So in the last Del Sol video, you guys saw that we replaced the cluster, and we went ahead and moved the AEM gauge that he had in the cluster. We moved it all the way over down to there. We didn't think we were gonna go ahead and get the glow shift gauges that quickly, so Mac went ahead and he made this extension harness. It has all the proper fittings and everything already connected for everywhere it needs to go, and then just ran 3 wires over to here. They're all green, but he is a smart man, and he actually colored heat shrink onto here so you know which one is which. Which is a fancy trick that I've never actually done. So today, instead of trying to wire all this stuff up from scratch, we're just gonna basically take this harness that has already been run from all the proper fittings inside of the Del Sol, take all these little connectors, and we're just gonna wire them right to the tip of this extension harness, so it's gonna be super easy.
Wiring's never easy.
Basically like reverse butt connecting them. They all join up with their related wires here. Now on the boost gauge, we put the opposite end pigtails, which plug into those 3 because the boost gauge in this case has the wires kind of just built right into it. It's the only one that doesn't really need any sort of fancy input. It just gets sucky pressure. It's a mechanical thing. It just reads it really easy. You want to do the honors and plug this thing in? Give it a little testy poo. Oh, good news! Aww. Oh, good news! Before we go ahead and button all that stuff up with the gauges, we're also gonna put in this thing. It's called a ghost box. Yeah. Okay, so you're saying this goes here?
Correct.
Other way. This goes here.
Clippy clippy.
it's not gonna rattle. So that is a win. All right, let's see if this guy gives us any sort of powery noises. He gave us a red light. It's a good sign. And a dingle door.
Bing dong. Goes well with my Windows phone.
Yeah, it does, dude. That's the XP sound right there. Now pair that Samsung up, baby. Let's go.
Pair.
Another dingle dong.
I have something queued up because, you know, copyright laws and stuff.
Not bad. That's kind of cool. So it's just, do all your speakers work in this thing?
Yeah.
There's there's nothing to show you guys with this. It's kind of a weird feeling.
Yeah.
It's quite literally just a box tucked away. That Mac has Bluetooth too.
Correct.
So now every time you get in, you just fire up your Bluetooth and you're good to go home.
I don't even think I have to do that. I think I can just like turn off the key, right? Put one key in.
This car doesn't have two keys?
Shut up. I knew you were gonna say something. It gives me a ding.
Okay.
Gives me another ding.
A double ding. And instant to the beats, dude. Before the car's warmed up.
Yeah.
Hot dog.
And I can control the equalizer through Spotify and stuff.
Yeah, that thing is really cool. I actually kind of dig the idea of the ghost box. All right, so Mac tucked that same AEM gauge that you guys were seeing earlier just in there because this is run to the ECU already. So it's a little bit weird. He would prefer to have two matching gauges. So we got the glow shift as the boost and the AFR, but because the sensor is already hardwired to his ECU, he just ran that gauge into the glove box since all the wires are already there for it anyways, so that it's communicating with the ECU, and if the car's ever not running right, he can check that gauge to check on the sensor because he has had the AEM, like the Bosch AEM sensor has gone bad before, and then his car was running weird because it runs based off of the O2 sensor. Does that make sense? Am I saying stuff that makes sense? Overcomplicate things. Why not? Camera. Good
Are
news.
you okay?
I'm okay. Are you okay?
Is that okay?
Are you guys okay? Everybody looks all right.
Sorry, dude.
A couple of these guys are but we didn't do that to them.
So today we're gonna change the dual throw out for a K-tune.
What is a dual throw?
Sorry, dual bend.
Oh, that makes
so they
a
call
lot more sense.
Yeah, so they call it a dual bend because there's two bends in it. But as you got to feel, going into fifth gear just feels like I'm on a different planet.
It feels like you're literally taking the shifter and trying to find Mars with it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not.
So, since we're in the area, while we're doing all the stuff up there, we figure before we bolt everything back in, we go ahead and swap this guy out so we don't have to take all the interior apart in another day. And what is this? Is this a branded one?
Yeah, it's Skunk 2.
So this should be somewhat shorter than stock, I would
imagine. 100% it's still shorter.
This one is actually quite interesting. So this is a K-tuned unit. You guys know we love K-tuned. And it is, I've never had one like this. My K-tuned was like the whole RSX shifter unit, right?
Yeah, it was similar.
It was similar, but it just had a whole bunch of jazz attached to it. What makes this one really cool is you can thread it into the bottom so you can change the throw.
Correct.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That you could literally put this in, thread this whole boy down, make it even shorter of a throw, and still adjust the height that you're gonna grab onto. So, and while Mac is doing that, you guys know, we love our likewise. We have a few more goodies. So this is a completely opposite shift knob of the one that we literally just put in the Genesis. So this Delrin style knob is the same thing I have in my Z, and the reason that these are so cool is because the Delrin doesn't get, it's Delrin, right?
Delrin, yeah.
This stuff doesn't get hot in the summer and it doesn't get cold in the winter, which makes it really, really nice. Because for a car like the Z, or a car like Del Spoolie here with no roof, if you have the roof off, even if all your windows are tinted, your shift knob's gonna bake and turn into just a pit of lava. And the Delrin shift knobs are called the Ghost. So check out Likewise, I will leave a link in the description down below. They make the coolest arrangement and best quality shift knobs ever. We run them in everything. Go check them out.
I think we're just gonna put it on like this and then we'll deal with this part when it's up in the car.
Yeah, that'll be much easier than
absolutely.
Oh dude, it has that too?
What?
I love this about the K-tune stuff. Like this.
With the pin.
Yeah, so when you put this in, it doesn't just have to face straight forward.
Yeah, you could have it like a little angle to the driver.
You could. Yeah. That's like, I don't remember if the one in the EK was slightly tilted towards me.
Oh, I never noticed.
It was like this. and then it was locked in place.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool, dude.
Yeah, I just noticed this now because I've actually never taken this apart, which I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll fiddle with it once we get it out.
Yeah.
Block the hole you just drilled with your hand?
Done.
Blocking?
Yeah.
Okay. Turn the...
Oh, yeah.
Ready?
Nope. Ooh, okay.
Working.
Yeah.
And that is how you take care of that when you don't think about how you're gonna get the metal shavings out until after you've already drilled. We didn't drop the whole exhaust to weld on this bung because Mac had this custom made for him and they never put any separation on the whole thing. It's
I asked for it like that though.
Well,
that is my own fault.
Sometimes we all make bad decisions. And that hole that we just did should be a good size for this new bung. And we don't know, like this might not be the legal way to do it.
It's the way we're gonna do it.
It's gonna work though. Yeah. Because we have to make things complicated and run two, we figured if we run them like this, the airflow from the one that's in the front won't block the next one. So this one will communicate to the ECU, this one will communicate to the gauge, and they won't interrupt each other, hopefully. And
we're also gonna compare my pre-knowing how to weld to my knowing how to weld.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mac welded this on jack stands in his driveway before he knew how to weld. You could see he was just like putting goobs down in random places just because he was excited that the welder worked, I guess.
It was mostly because I didn't have a lot of space. It was tough. And I didn't like that welder. That's knowing how to weld, not knowing how to weld.
It was good.
Thanks.
So you want to clean that other one up while we're here?
Yes, please. This has been haunting me forever. Ever since I learned how to weld, I was like, man, I hope nobody ever sees that. And now the world's seeing it. I wanted to make sure nobody ever saw it.
That almost qualifies as a Robbie Repairs right there. Just a little too much, but just enough at the same time.
It just means nobody's ever gonna see it, which is exactly what I wanted. Oh, and that's loose, which is exactly what we're looking for.
Let's stuff this up here so we can grab it from up top. And there we go. We got a fixed, still not the best, but fixed, and a nice boy on this side. It actually looks super funny. Sick. All right, so is this all we got to do here? Just flip this little boot over. Now this is the cool part that I was talking to you about, because you can do, as long as you get those holes lined up with down below, you could have it forwards, you could have it over towards you could have it backwards.
Yeah, I was thinking something like
there?
Yeah.
Nice. Go ahead and snug this up. Dude, this thing looks sick on camera. I mean, it looks sick in person, but it just looks really cool on camera. And the special touch. Love a good K-tune knob, but all right, here we go. For those of you guys that don't know, the Likewise shift knobs all come with this little thread adapter. And what's really cool, it has a set screw. And this is why I love these Likewise products, because now, thread that guy on. Oh, he sits nice and low. And perfect example. The Likewise logo is facing the very front of the car. That is all the way tight. We're gonna back this up like that, like a half turn. Aha! Perfectly on the back.
Boom.
Nailed it. Dude, that actually looks really good. The colors go really well together.
I like it.
I think it looks
I'm so
sick.
excited.
I love, again, with no roof, these are like must-have knobs. The last thing we're gonna do here before we assemble anything, let me just walk out of this tiny little Snickers mobile. We have this really cool little block-off plate. I was showing you the wrong one earlier. I was showing you guys this one earlier. This little 3D printed piece is from a local company that's just starting up called Ignition MFG. I don't even think they have an Instagram account yet, but we've been trying to help them get some like designs and templates and stuff going. So this was an initial block-off plate to cover the single din block-off. I completely forgot. We were just gonna drill holes in it, but we have one with 252 mil holes in it, and Mac got it so that it says Honda in the middle, and then it has the 2 spots for both gauges, and this dude fits perfectly inside that single din block off. I don't know which way the block off goes, but fits perfectly in there, fits perfectly 2 gauges, so that's gonna look super cool. If they have an Instagram, I'll tag it right here. But this is sick. Everybody loves a good 3D printed part.
What I think is cool about 3D printed parts is that I had this vision. Like this was something in my brain, and here it is.
Yeah. You guys have watched this entire video, and over the next 60 seconds, the most noticeable transformation goes down. So Mac went ahead and started vacuuming the inside of the car, and I went ahead, slipped this block off plate into its holder. I slid both glow shift gauges in there, and then I actually bent the little brackets that go behind the gauges. That way the 1 foot on each gauge was touching the factory Honda piece, so we never had to use any glue or anything to hold this block off plate in there. And once I passed that off to Mac for him to get it all wired up, I went ahead, took out the battery, and fed the wiring harness from the new sensor in through this grommet right here. Tried to make everything as pretty as possible when I was putting it back together. And here it goes right here. We got a carpet, freshly steam cleaned, a little bit of dirt from being laying around the garage. We got our center console in. We actually threw in 2 new speakers in the rears that Mac had bought. They're like the weird slim brand. They're like super hard to find that fit back there. Got all the rest of the trim pieces thrown in. Got the seats thrown in and bolted up. Which only leaves one thing to do.
Okay, you guys definitely thought we were gonna cut to a B-roll of the car, but right now I have to do something. It is the most complete that this car has ever been since I've owned it, and I just gotta let her eat, dude. This is call for celebration right now.
Guy's got no e-brake. He tried to do a burnout. Oh, that's funny, dude. He wanted a big celebratory burnout smoke show, and he got grip. He did get that.
Well, the tires are too sticky.
You got grip, so there's that.
Yeah, the tires are just too sticky. That was e-brake got me ripping on it even higher, and just, yeah, I'll give it a go again.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. What did you clutch dump at?
Any legs at 5.
5?
Yeah. We need to tighten the e-brake next time.
All right. The car doesn't do burnouts, but it looks absolutely killer. This thing just looks so complete. Like, dude, look at this, look at this, look at this car. It's got the buckies, dude. I've seen this in Corvettes, but that's about it. Got the buckies on both sides. The shifter, Mac was saying, is absolutely great. It's not crazy different because the other one was already a short throw shifter, but this one is just like a much nicer unit, so never hurts to upgrade to a nicer piece. And the gauges look so sick, dude. Look at these. You guys also saw us throwing new speakers in there. We had 2 new like shallow speakers just for the back. Pretty much the same as the ones that were in there. They're just actually functional. The ones that were in there sucked major. But all in all, the major accomplishment today is really just having this thing feel like a car. You guys remember when I first showed it to you? It was not this. We have the carpet, we have the seats, then we got the frickin' trim pieces all the way through. We got the back trim, we got the center console, everything, dude. It just looks good. It just looks like a car now.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a couple pieces that, you know, I might have forgot, I couldn't find, whatever, but like, dude, all in all, I'm stoked with it. And just something I want to show off because I think this is like the coolest thing ever.
I can confirm it is really cool. When he showed me, I was like, that's dope. Whoa. Oh, look at these things, dude. The cup holders go in the center console. When you lift it, and you can do whatever, put your change there, pack of smokes if it's the 90s still. And you can undo this guy, boom, cup holder. When we first picked this car up, I had never been in a Del Sol ever. So for me to see like the end vision of this thing and like the interior, I couldn't. But now that I'm sitting in it, it's really cool. Like I feel stoked. It's a really cool, unique interior. I'm about it, dude. I think like everything we've done, the carpet, the dash, the glove box, the S2K cluster, it all just looks really, really good.
Yeah, I'm happy with it, man. Cause like, this is something I had a vision of just in my head. And everyone's like, oh no, no, no. And like, it all comes together, and like then everyone's stoked about it, you know?
Yeah. Even this, like something as simple as this. The whole car looks stock from the outside pretty much. It's got wheels, exhaust, whatever. And then on the inside, it looks pretty stock too. So I love that we were able to hide these. And if you just want to see your boost, flip it down, check on your boosties. And we have a little spoolage to make sure that works. The car just looks good, dude. It feels good to be in a car that is complete when literally weeks ago it was not complete, because we have been getting games played with us for a while with some companies, and none of my cars are completing this quickly, so it feels good. So you guys know at the end of every video we leave you with a little bit of a challenge, and today's challenge is for you guys to stick to your vision. A lot of times someone will have a vision, especially like I do this all the time. I have a vision and I make the mistake of telling someone, and the person I tell on the vision, they're like, nah, you can't do it, it's not gonna work, you should change this, you should change. Don't listen to that, because anything you guys have ever seen on the channel, any car I've ever built, anything I've ever done, any garage, anything I've ever shared with you guys, it's always been a vision of mine. Stick to it, and don't let anybody change your mind or tell you how to change it, because it's your vision, and the only way it will ever come true is if you stick to it. So that is all, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out, and stay committed. Because you're sitting on the ridge. Yeah. That whole time I was filming you talk, your head sticks way past the roof. You look like a giant.
I am a giant. I don't know what sound Shrek makes, but it's I am a giant.
And my favorites. He didn't see. Start our morning with wiring, because wiring is just the best part of everybody's day. It's the most fun, and I love it the most.
Yeah. I'd rather sand than do wiring.
Yeah.